The man laughed into his phone, not quietly, not politely, loud enough for the whole restaurant to hear. He didn't look at the waitress when he spoke, just waved his hand like she was invisible. In Spanish, he muttered, "Mira como tiembla. Seguro ni terminó la escuela. Look how she shakes. Probably didn't even finish school." A few men at his table smirked. Wine glasses clinked. Power enjoyed itself. The waitress froze. Tray balanced in her hands. Face calm, eyes steady. Then she leaned in and answered him in perfect Spanish. The billionaire's smile vanished. The room went silent. "Stay with us. Don't click away." What she says next changes everything. Her name was Isabella Cruz, 27, a waitress by uniform, but not by limitation. She worked at Levante, a glass-walled restaurant where Power ate slowly and tipped poorly. The kind of place where men in tailored suits spoke louder than they listened. The man at table 12 was Richard Halston, tech billionaire, investor, donor. A name printed on buildings. People like him didn't whisper apologies. They expected silence. Isabella had learned that silence early. She grew up translating for her mother at doctors' offices, reading contracts aloud, correcting teachers, politely, carefully. Her degree hung folded in a drawer at home. Linguistics, international relations, 3 languages. Working on a 4th. Tonight she was here to pay rent. The hostess watched nervously. A server slowed nearby. Everyone felt the imbalance. What they didn't see was Isabella's phone recording in her apron pocket. And her calm was not fear. It was preparation. Richard Halston didn't look up when Isabella returned with the wine. He flicked his wrist. Too warm. Too slow. To you. Then he leaned back in his chair, voice low, amused, and spoke in Spanish, confident the room would never understand. ¿Viste cómo camina? Como si esto fuera lo único que sabrá hacer. Did you see how she walks? Like this is all she'll ever be. His associates chuckled. One checked his phone. Another smirked into his glass. Isabella paused, just long enough to breathe. She placed the bottle down, perfectly aligned with the label facing him. Her hands didn't shake. Her smile didn't change. Inside her apron, her phone kept recording. Richard continued, emboldened. Seguro ni entiende una palabra. Estas chicas solo sirven para traer platos. She probably doesn't understand a word. Girls like this are only good for carrying plates. A nearby couple stiffened. The hostess swallowed hard. A busboy froze mid-step. Isabella nodded politely. "Of course, sir," she said in English. Then she turned away. At the service station, she typed a quick message to the floor manager. Table 12. "Please don't interrupt." She returned with the receipt folder, slowly, intentionally. Richard raised his glass. "To success," he said loudly. Then, again in Spanish, softer now. Crueler. "Pobrecita. Si supiera lo insignificante que es." Poor thing. If she knew how insignificant she is, that was the moment. Isabella didn't flinch, didn't argue, didn't defend herself. She reached into her apron, not for anger, for timing. She placed the check down, met his eyes for the first time all evening, and spoke. Fluent, precise, undeniable. "Señor Halston," she said calmly in perfect Spanish, "entiendo cada palabra, y he estado grabando desde que se sentó." The table went silent. A fork hit the floor. Richard's smile cracked, and Isabella wasn't finished. The silence spread like a shockwave. Richard Halston's glass hovered midair. His jaw locked. Color drained from his face. "What did you just say?" he asked in English now, sharper, defensive. Isabella didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. She tapped her phone once. The screen lit up. The red dot blinked. "Recording. I said," she repeated in Spanish, slow and surgical, "that I understood every insult, every joke, every assumption you made about my worth." People were standing now. The hostess. The couple nearby. Even one of Richard's own associates leaned back, uneasy. Isabella continued. "You assumed silence meant ignorance," she said. "But silence is often restraint." She reached into her apron again and placed something else on the table. A business card. Not hers. His. But altered. flipped over, handwritten notes across the back, dates, times, restaurants. And while you were mocking me, Isabella said, eyes steady, I was confirming something I already suspected. Richard's associate swallowed. Richard. She turned slightly so the room could hear. I recognized your voice, Isabella said. From a boardroom meeting I translated 2 years ago. Pro bono. When you were discussing offshore accounts, in Spanish, assuming no one else in the room could understand. A collective gasp. Phones came out. A server whispered, "Oh my God." Richard stood abruptly. His chair screeched. "That's absurd," he snapped. "You're a waitress." Isabella smiled, small, controlled. "I'm a linguist," she said. 5 languages, Georgetown, honors. She tapped her phone again. "And this recording," she continued, "has already been uploaded to 3 places, including your foundation's ethics committee." The room felt frozen. Richard's mouth opened, closed. One of his associates stood. "We're done," he said quietly. "Dinner's over." Richard reached for Isabella's arm. Bad choice. The manager appeared instantly. Security behind him. "Sir," the manager said, voice firm, "you need to leave." Richard looked around. No one met his eyes. Not power, not money, not tonight. As he was escorted out, Isabella finally spoke one last sentence in English. "You don't lose power when someone speaks up," she said. "You lose it when the truth hears you." The doors closed, and the room exhaled. The restaurant didn't return to normal right away. People stayed seated, whispering, looking at Isabella like they were seeing her for the first time. The manager approached her slowly, respectfully. "I'm so sorry," he said, "for what you were subjected to." Isabella nodded. That was all. By morning, the recording had spread. Not viral in a noisy way, but deliberate. Shared by journalists. Picked up by ethics boards. Questioned in quiet offices where money usually silenced consequences. Richard Halston resigned from 2 boards within 48 hours. His foundation paused operations. Sponsors distanced themselves. No public apology. Just disappearance. And Isabella? She didn't quit. She finished her shift that night. But the next week, the restaurant owner offered her something different. A paid consulting role training staff on language, cultural intelligence, and bias. A university reached out. Then another. She chose carefully. Because dignity, she'd learned, wasn't about revenge. It was about alignment. Weeks later, a young server asked her quietly, "How did you stay so calm?" Isabella smiled. "Because I knew who I was before he decided who I wasn't." That's how power really shifts. Not with shouting, not with humiliation returned, but with truth, spoken clearly, at the exact moment it's needed. And if there's one thing this world keeps forgetting, it's that the people you underestimate are often the ones listening most closely, and they remember everything.